Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So this week, to get us kind of prepped up for Read Across America, and I know sometimes it feels like maybe Read Across America, especially since they do a lot of Dr. Seuss stuff, it feels like maybe that's for like younger kids, but I'm here to tell you today, anyone can participate in Read Across America. I do. And here's my encouragement to you to get you ready to celebrate in your own special way. I'm sharing with you some of my favorite authors. These are authors that are like books, some of their books have been 3 a.m. reads. These are authors that as soon as one comes out, I have to read it. Yeah, I cannot wait to share these 6 amazing authors with you. We have some fiction, we have some nonfiction. If you've watched enough of these, you know how much I love my nonfiction. So let's get started. We're going to start with a nonfiction. The Family Roanoke by Candace Fleming. She is amazing. This book, I feel, this one might be her best in my opinion, and that's saying a lot. It's really hard for me to say that actually, but The Family Roanoke, an amazing nonfiction book. So I learned a ton about history while reading this because let's be real. I mean, like you think about Anastasia, that's like the Romanov family. All you really kind of know is what we've seen like in the cartoon movies, the rumors that have come out. Yeah, like Candace Fleming, she brings us into the family of the Romanovs and shares everything about their rise to power and their fall from that power. They basically are like, they run Russia for decades, okay? You know that, Anastasia was like one of the main people from all of this, that people thought that she escaped when her family was actually murdered, and people came forward and claimed that she was still alive, and yeah, she dives into all of that, I promise. But you do start to realize as you read why things happen, the reason why they did, and how they did. You start to feel, why there was a revolution, and there's a part of you that maybe you'll actually support the people to an extent as well. There is so much that happens. What I love about what Candace Fleming does is not only does she give you the background that you needed though, but the good majority of the book is from the fall of Russia, the removal of Tsar Nicholas, Anastasia's father, all the way through to what happens to their death and then after. An amazing read. Loved it. Love anything by Candace Fleming if you're looking for an incredible nonfiction. Family Romanov. Okay, another one of my new favorite authors. She's way more contemporary than maybe some of the others we'll get to at some point. But this is Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. What I love about Tiffany D. Jackson is she writes a wide variety of books. Allegedly, though, might be one of my favorites by her. Now, when Mary was just 9 years old, she was tried and convicted of killing a 3-month-old white baby who was left in her mother's care as her mother ran a daycare. Now, fast forward 6 years, she's now 15, she's been locked up in what's known as baby jail, and she finds herself now released, but she's in a group home, okay? Now, Mary has kept quiet this whole time about what really happened that evening when all of this went down. And there are actually clues out there that maybe she's not guilty, okay? But Mary just wants to move on with her life. She wants to get out of the group home. She wants to enter back into society. She wants to go to college. But these plans are soon quickly derailed when she finds that she's pregnant, which is something that is going to change everything in any situation, but especially this one. Because being under 18 and living in a group home, automatically, Mary is going to be forced to give up her baby for adoption. And when she's faced with losing custody of this unborn child, she makes this startling confession that she did not kill the baby that she was accused of killing. And she's going to need to speak up for the first time about what allegedly happened that night. This is filled with media accounts, there's police reports, psychological interviews, this mystery that explores crime and family relationship, racial profiling, and more is filled with so many twists and turns that you will have no idea what's going on. There is a smack you in your face moment, I promise. As I was reading through this, it was almost like, you're trying to, like, one moment you're believing Mary, the next moment you're not. Like, you're going back and forth until you get to the end, and it's just, like, mind-blowing. Allegedly, Tiffany G. Jackson. Another one of my favorite nonfiction authors, Sarah Miller. Love Sarah Miller. What I love about Sarah Miller is a lot of times she'll take an event in history, an individual, and she'll do a whole profile on them. Her newest one is all about Mary Surratt, the woman who was accused, found guilty, and actually hanged as part of the Abraham Lincoln assassination. Bet you maybe haven't heard about her, okay? But this one is one that maybe you heard of, one of the famous most murder cases in history. This is all about the Borden murders. Now, it's Massachusetts, 1892. Andrew Borden and his wife, they are viciously attacked and murdered with an axe in their own home. All the while, Andrew's daughter, Lizzie, is upstairs. She's at home at the time. You know, she's out in the backyard upstairs, depending on whichever account you decide to read, okay? Now, quickly, this crime becomes known as the trial and crime of the century, as Lizzie is arrested and charged with their murder. Yeah, this amazing nonfiction book will take you through the before, during, and after, while introducing you to all the players, the scenarios, possible outcomes, leaving you to decide for yourself. What do you really think happened? Is Lizzie Borden guilty, or or was she not guilty? Did she get away with murder? Yeah, if you love true crime, if you love history, highly recommend this. But again, Sarah Miller is amazing. Daisy and Violet's another awesome one she did about vaudeville twins. Yeah, love this one though. If you think you know everything there is to know about the Lizzie Borden murders, read this. You'll find out some stuff you didn't know already. The Borden murders, Sarah Miller. A Northern Light by Jennifer Donnelly. Love Jennifer Donnelly. If you love historical fiction, you're in for a treat. If you love historical fiction tied in with some mystery, even better. That's what Jennifer Donnelly does, especially in A Northern Light. This one, I will tell you up front, is based on a real true crime story. Fictionalized, but it's based on it because it's back in 1906. Maddie is working her summer job at a resort in upstate New York, and even though it's the last thing she wants to do, she's doing it. What she wants to do is she wants to go to college to become a writer. But it's looking more and more like that's not going to happen because she's going to be stuck back at home on the farm taking care of her brothers and sisters after the death of her mother. One evening at the resort, though, Maddie is handed 2 bundles of letters from a guest named Grace. And Grace gives these to her with the intent that Maddie is going to burn them. That's what she asks. But before Maddie can get around to doing that, the next morning, Grace ends up dead. Now, what looks like an accidental drowning soon turns into a murder mystery as Maddie decides she wants to read these letters. There's like way too much coincidence going on. She's gonna read these letters. And as she starts to read these letters, she uncovers something that's going to change everything. Now, as Grace's story is learned by Maddie, Maddie's life becomes more and more in danger as she never could have thought. This historical fiction book also incorporates, that's right, a real true crime story. And it's also, like Grace was a real person. What happens to Grace actually really does happen. Now, again, part historical fiction, part murder mystery, part romance. I will tell you there is some romance in it. It doesn't play a huge role, but there is some in there. You won't be able to put this one down or anything else by Jennifer Donnelly. A Northern Light. Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. Now, I know like sometimes you hear Veronica Roth and you jump to like probably maybe what people might think is her best known, which is Divergent. I love the stuff that came after Divergent. Divergent wasn't bad, but the stuff that she comes out with after, so much better. Carve the Mark, no exception. Now, throughout the galaxy, which is filled with a system of nation planets, there is something that runs through it called the current. The current gives people different special abilities. Now, for Syra, who is the sister to Ryzik, now, this is where Syra comes in a little bit, why it's important for her. She's known as the sister to Ryzik. Ryzik is the leader of their warlike people called the Shotet people. Now, her special gift given by the current is pain. Not only does she constantly feel pain, but she can also inflict it on other people. And that may not seem that big of a deal, but think about it. If you can inflict pain on someone, what can you honestly do? Now, when her brother kidnaps Akos, okay, he is forced to serve Syra because his gift is the opposite of hers. he helps alleviate pain. And since Cyrus is constantly in pain, her brother decides to gift her this person who can help her out. Akos, though, he just wants to find and save his brother. Well, Cyrus, horrified by her brother's cruel and horrible acts. And they soon quickly become allies, and they realize they're going to need each other to survive and if they're going to obtain their individual goals. Now, this is the first in a duology. The second title is already out, so the miniseries is completed. This does end with a cliffhanger. You will want the second one like as soon as you possibly can, so maybe check out that one with this one. Filled with action, there's romance, there's drama, there's magic, there's some science fiction, there's some family stuff. Yeah, you will want to know what happens. You're not going to stop reading. Carve the mark, Veronica Roth. And our last one today is another popular author you may have heard of before. But again, what I love about Marie Lu is like the breadth of like her works is insane. All the ways she can write. Warcross, probably I think my favorite duology. It's the first in a duology. Warcross is already Wild Card's already out, but Warcross, yeah. So in the future, there's this incredibly popular, immersive virtual reality game called Warcross. Everyone plays it, and it kind of basically runs society. Now, Amika is a hacker who works as a bounty hunter. It's her job to catch people who are illegally betting on Warcross. Once a year, there is this huge tournament worldwide that includes teams from literally all corners of the world. And Amika decides she's going to do something that's not supposed to be done. She's going to hack into this game during the opening ceremonies, and she's going to steal an incredibly valuable item. But while she goes and does this, there is a glitch. And her identity is revealed to everyone playing Warcross at the time, and then she gains immediate and instant fame. When she is summoned to go see the game's creator, she's recruited, actually. She isn't in trouble. She's recruited to help him find the elusive hacker who is known as Zero. And as she enters this world, there is more going behind the scenes than she ever thought. And Amika has no idea who she can trust and who is going to double cross her. If you love science fiction, gaming, virtual reality, there is some mystery, there is a little bit of suspense. You have to check this one out. Warcross by Marie Lu. So these are 6 amazing titles, 6 amazing authors. So I encourage you to come on out. Check out one of these. Maybe the author sounds good, but you don't like maybe the one we talked about. There's other stuff by them. I promise we can help you find those perfect books you're looking to read. I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you tune back next time for a whole new Teen Book Spotlight.